We have a couple of people coming in right now. Come on in. Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing today? Everybody good? Huh? Yes, sun is shining, or at least it was a moment ago. Little wind out of the northwest. No snow. I just had a question. How many people had seen the West Side News with the picture in the program? Just kind of an inventory. So maybe a dozen people. You waving to me, or are you acknowledging? Okay. Well, welcome to our third Winter Serenades program, backed by popular demand. Michael Lasser and trio, and he'll be introducing the other two members of the trio. But it's just great to have you here. Next time, of course, we're looking at the Herb Smith trio. So 2 weeks from today, on the 19th, they will be out here. Herb Smith is voted the most popular, best instrumentalist in the Rochester region in City magazine / newspaper. I keep calling it a newspaper, but it only comes out once a month in a magazine form. But so we've had fabulous people here, including today, and we're so glad that they're back. Little housekeeping, lavatories through this door on your right, up the hall to the right. Get to the end of the hall, turn right. That's always an issue. Exits, of course, are lit up, so you know where to go, where to get out in case of an emergency. Just follow these doors right up and in the back. We're also planning our summer serenades. We have 8 Thursdays in July and August, and we right now have 6 bands and musical treats for you set up and all locked into our schedule, winding up with the Rochester Metropolitan Jazz Orchestra, which has become a tradition for us. This will be the 3rd year that the RMJO is going to wrap up the season, and you've got to put that on your calendar for the last Thursday of August for sure. Jackie Davis is our chairperson of our Serenades Committee. She's in the back and always designates me to come up and say hello. But if you want to ever talk to Jackie, you'll see her at our reception afterwards, so please put that on your to-do list after the concert, right up here in the gathering room. So, like you're going to the lavatory, just go through that door. Yeah. Also, Brenda Tremblay, who is the morning voice of WXXI Classical Radio, and she is the musical director here. She's part of our committee, not able to be here today because she's doing music at 3 o'clock at a concert, so she wasn't able to be here. And we also have Terry Carbone and Patty Coots are on our committee. That's it. That's our committee. Thanks to the sponsors, many of you who are in the audience are our sponsors, and our streaming opportunity, which is done by Bill Henderson in the back. Give a wave, Bill, so people see you. There he is. And he's our operations manager for sound and technology, a volunteer also with St. Luke's Church. And it's just a wonderful opportunity for our audience to be engaged, not just here physically, but also some of our people can't come or are not able to be in attendance, and of course they can catch it streaming. Anybody have any questions? Good. Oh, is Mary Edwards is going to give me an opportunity. So right now, let's hear from Michael Lasser.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you. I've been doing these kinds of programs with two singers since the mid-'70s. And I was working with a couple of them. I won't tell you their names. They were very good singers, but they brought a lot of temperament to the task. And I just didn't have time for that. Nobody should have time for that. And I said to my wife, we have one more booking, and when we're done, I'm done. Because I'm not putting up with it. And then neither of them could do it. And so I've known Alan. I knew Alan already, Alan Jones, so I got him to do it. And I found out that a woman I had worked with named Cindy Miller could do it, had given up teaching for singing, was singing full-time, trying to make a living at it. And so I hired her, and that was about 25 years ago. And we did that booking, and then we did another booking, and my wife said, I thought you were done. And I said, as long as I can work with them, I'll keep doing it. Cindy doesn't do it with us anymore, but we found Jessica about 1.5 years or 2 years ago, and we keep on trucking. And they're the youngsters who carry me around, fetch my cane and such like. And I am delighted to still be doing this. At my age, I'm delighted to still be doing anything. I don't lie down for too long because I'm afraid someone's going to throw dirt on me. Well, what the hell? I'm going to be 87 this month, so don't clap. No. That's nonsense. Don't clap for somebody who's old. All I did was keep breathing, and I have decent genes. So what are you clapping for? But I'm delighted to still be doing them, and I'm delighted to be doing them with these people. Will you please welcome to the stage Jessica Ann Best and Alan Jones.
Use your imagination. Just take this model for your theme, and soon every night will be crowded with delight, and every day will be a dream.
Use your imagination. You'll see such wonders if you do. Around you there lies pure enchantment in disguise, and endless joys you never knew.
Behind every cloud there's so lovely a star.
Behind every star there's a lovelier one by far. So use your imagination. Just take this model for your theme, and soon you will dance on the road to sweet romance. and every day will be a dream. Every day will be a perfect
We call today's program Mind and Unmined Cole because while those of you who know Cole Porter will find a lot of the songs familiar, we've tried to include a few that are not as well known. Maybe you can learn a few songs. Well, like use your imagination. How many of you knew that song before you heard it today? 1, 2. See? You've already heard a song. That's Unmined Cole. You'll hear a few you didn't know and come away, I hope, with a sense of the richness of Cole Porter's achievement. If the song is a way to take you to today's underlying theme, which is the sense of, within the limits of a song, Porter's inventiveness. He really preferred to write only 2 kinds of songs and work within even those more drastic limits. He was very, very good at writing comedy songs, comic songs, funny songs, catalog comic songs, long lists that were funny, and also very, very impassioned love songs that I'll talk more about later. The other thing to say about Porter right from the start is that he was a songwriter, and very few of his contemporaries were. George Gershwin was not a songwriter. He was a composer. Ira Gershwin was not a songwriter. He was a lyricist. Harold Arlen was a composer. E.Y. Harburg, Johnny Mercer were lyricists. Richard Rodgers, composer. Oscar Hammerstein, lyricist. Cole Porter was a songwriter. Irving Berlin was a songwriter. Herman Hupfeld, that you've never heard of, was a songwriter. He wrote one great song as time goes by. Stephen Sondheim was a songwriter. They wrote both words and music. They didn't write music, they didn't write words, they wrote songs. And Cole Porter is on that rather short list. The idea of writing what he was good at, the comic songs and the pulsating ballads that feel erotic even when there's nothing sexual in them. He was content with that, but he was extraordinarily inventive within those limits. Listen to the language, listen to the Latin-tinged melodies in a lot of his songs. Listen to his rhyming. It's remarkably inventive. To demonstrate Porter's range and its limits, there were 2 songs I hope you'll recognize, You're the Top and So in Love.
At words poetic, I'm so pathetic that I always have found it best, instead of getting 'em off my chest, to let 'em rest unexpressed. I hate parading my serenading, as I'll probably miss a bar. But if this ditty is not so pretty, at least it'll tell you how great you are. You're the top. You're the Colosseum. You're the top. You're the Louvre Museum. You're a melody from a symphony by Strauss. You're a bandeau bonnet, a Shakespeare sonnet. You're Mickey Mouse.
You're the top. You're the turkey dinner. You're the time of a derby winner. I'm a toy balloon that's fated soon to pop. But if, baby, I'm the bottom, you're the top. You're the top. You're a Berlin ballad. You're the top. You're a Waldorf salad. You're the boats that glide on a sleepy cider sea. You're old Dutch master, you're Lady Astor, you're broccoli.
Your romance. You're the steps of Russia. You're the pants on a Roxy Usher. I'm a broken doll, a faulty rum of love.
Baby, you're the bottom, but baby, I'm the bottom. But baby, I'm the bottom, you're the top.
It's a tongue twister. You can't stop shows anymore. If you go to the Broadway theater, see a musical, and a song so affects an audience that they just keep clapping and clapping and clapping. There was a time, and I remember it, when they would do another chorus, or if there wasn't another chorus, they'd repeat a chorus. They would give the audience some more of the song. No more. Applause goes on for so many seconds, prearranged, and then they will pick up the show and keep moving. So you stop clapping unless you want to hear what's next. They will not let you stop a show anymore, and it's contained by timing. Once the show opens, the director leaves. He's not around anymore. The stage manager runs the show once it's open, and he will, on a given night, go dressing room to say something like, "The show ran 25 seconds too long. Tighten it up tomorrow." Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you don't, one of the things we've lost as audiences is the ability to stop a show. If we took 5 or 6 songs of Cole Porter's, like You're the Top, that were written to stop a show and thus have pages of choruses, we could do a whole program of 5 songs. And it would be a long program if we did them. There's a book called The Complete Lyrics of Cole Porter. And if you take it out of the library and you turn to You're the Top, you will see pages of, there must be 15 choruses to this song. You know, they go out and they do 5 or 6, and then they come back and do a few more, and then come back. It depends on how enthusiastic the audience is. They don't necessarily do all of them every night. So anyway, as for So in Love, did you notice how Porter's having written it to a Latin beat makes it even more impassioned than it would otherwise be? He often did that with his lyrics. He set them to a Latin music to make them hotter. Yes. Cole Porter did not grow up in that kind of a world. He grew up in Peru, Indiana, as the privileged son of a doting mother. After growing up, his first stop was Yale, where he majored in English and started to write songs for the undergraduate musical. And also wrote, if you're a Yaley, this is an immortal song, one of the songs to sing at football games for Yaleys, called, oh God, what am I, the Yale Bulldogs. Bulldog, bulldog, bow wow wow, Eli Yale. And if you went to Yale, you will not be happy hearing me make even mild fun of a song that is, on the face of it, patently ridiculous. And I know that. After graduation, his grandfather Cole, his mother's maiden name was Cole, that's the name, said that he was to go to Harvard Law School and Grandpa Cole would pay the way. He didn't want to, but he succumbed, because that's where the money was, and hated it. Dropped out after a year, went to New York to write songs for Broadway musicals. He was such a colossal flop that he put his tail between his legs and fled to France, where he spent the next decade living in Paris and on the Riviera. Oh, to be such a failure. He did write a few songs that he placed in nightclub reviews, studied music, but then in 1928, he returned to write for Broadway and become at last an overnight sensation when 3 consecutive shows became hits. 50 Million Frenchmen, Paris, and Wake Up and Live. Porter was most at home in Paris and Manhattan. Their combination of raw energy and sophistication, earthiness and elegance fascinated him endlessly. He wrote more songs about New York City and Paris than anybody else. They were love songs to a city.
I happen to like New York. city air. I like the drink of it. The more I know New York, the more I think of it. I like the sight, the sound, and even the stink of it. I happen to like New York. I like to go to Battery Park and watch those liners blooming in. I often ask myself, why should it be that they should come so far from across the sea? I suppose it's because they all agree with me. They happen to like New York. Last Sunday afternoon, I took a trip to Hackensack, but after I gave Hackensack the once over, I took the next train back. I happen to like New York. I happen to love this burg. And when I have to give the world my last farewell, under the undertaker starts to ring my funeral bell. I don't want to go to heaven, don't want to go to hell. I happen to like New York. I happen to like New York.
Gaze at those twinkling lights below and above. Oh, what a night of nights for people in love. No city like this, my friend. No city I know gives romance such a chance to grow and grow. Harry loves lover, for lover is heaven above. Harry tells lover, love is supreme. Wake up your dream and make love. Only in Paris one discovers the urge to merge with the splurge of the spring. Paris loves lovers, for lovers know that love is everything. Paris
Capitalistic,
loves a lover,
characteristic,
for lover
sensualist,
is heaven above.
atheistic,
Paris
idealistic.
tells a lover,
I'm pessimistic.
love is supreme. Wake up your dream and make love.
I'm communist,
Only in Paris
militaristic,
one discovers
or optimistic.
the urge to merge with the splurge of the spring. Paris loves lovers, for lovers know that love
Individualistic,
is
collectivistic,
everything.
on a low totalitarianistic.
That song was written for a later Porter show called Silk Stockings, in which a an American businessman in Paris, this is in the mid-50s, meets a very attractive female Russian commissar and is trying to melt her. It's a seduction song, and she's resisting because she wants nothing to do with this wealthy capitalist. On Broadway, the parts were played by Don Amici and Hildegard Neff, and in the movie, Fred Astaire and Sid Charisse. Ooh, yes. As for the other, I happen to like New York. It's a kind of anthem, isn't it? It just tolls, and it faces the truth about the city. He loves even the stink of it. But it's there's great affection undergirding it. One of the other things about Paris Loves Lovers, songwriters, lyricists love to pull off triple rhymes. They rhyme 3 lines in a row that all rhyme with one another. Porter in this line does in the single line. He wants to merge with he has an urge to merge with the splurge of the spring. Man, that's lyric writing. That is so good. Incredibly clever. Regardless of how different those songs might be from one another, and they are, they're extremely unlike one another. I think you can say that there's something in each of them, and in all the songs we've done so far, that say Cole Porter. They feel as if only Cole Porter could have written them. There are songs like that by the Gershwins, by Berlin, by all the great songwriters, but there are more of them by Porter. Again, I think because he's working within such limits that the others were not. And you see that, I think, in the next 2 songs we're going to do. They're quite different from one another, but they both have that Cole Porter feel. Just one of those things, and too darn hot.
As Columbus announced when he knew he was bounced, it was swell, Isabel swell.
As Abelard said to Eloise, don't forget to drop a line to me, please.
As Juliet cried in her Romeo's ear, Romeo, why not face the fact, my dear? Was just one of those things, just one of those crazy flings, one of those bells that now and then rings, just one of those things, just one of those nights, just one of those fabulous nights. We thought a bit of the end of it when we started painting the town. We'd have been aware that our love affair was too hot, got to cool down. So goodbye, dear, and amen. Here's hoping we'll meet now and then. It was great fun, but it was just one of those days.
It's too darn hot. It's too darn hot. I'd like to sup with my baby tonight and play the pop with my baby tonight. I'd like to sup with my baby tonight and play the pop with my baby tonight, but I It's too darn hot. It's too darn hot. I like to coo with my baby tonight and pitch some woo with my baby tonight. I like to coo with my baby tonight and pitch some woo with my baby tonight. But can I even be my baby tonight? 'Cause it's too darn hot. According to the Kinsey report, every average man you know much prefers to play his favorite sport when the temperature is low. But when the thermometer goes way up and the weather is sizzling high, Mr. Adam for his madam is not. 'Cause it's too darn hot. 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 I like to call on my baby tonight and play my all to my baby tonight. I like to call on my baby tonight and give my all to my baby tonight. But I can't move on my baby tonight 'cause it's too darn hot. According to the Kinsey report, every average man you know much prefers to play his favorite sport when the temperature is low. But when the thermometer goes way up and the weather is sizzling hot, Mr. Dobb for his swab, a GI for his cutie pie, a Marine for his queen is not. 'Cause it's too darn hot. It's too darn hot. It's too
One weekend, Cole Porter was invited to spend the several days at a country house, probably on the Gold Coast of Long Island, where the Vanderbilts had a place, and Teddy Roosevelt had built a large house earlier. And Porter went. He frequently attended those kinds of weekends. And he was working on a score for a show. And late at night, when everybody went to bed, he went to the piano and went to work. And he was writing just one of those things. And he reached a point where he got tired, obviously, it was late, and he had one word he was missing. He couldn't find a single word to fit that spot. So went to bed figuring tomorrow's another day. And somebody else at the party, I guess, was wandering around and saw what Porter had written and looked down at it, picked up the pencil, and wrote in a word. And Porter didn't see it till the next morning and said something like, "My God, somebody else finished it for me." A trip to the moon on gossamer. That was the word he couldn't find. But at least he was smart enough to recognize that somebody had thought of it for him. Does luck play a role in creativity? Or darn right it does. The trick is for the creator to recognize it. And, you write 4 versions of something, which is the best? The creator has to recognize it. It's lonely work. You can't really ask anybody else. But somebody else pitched in, and Porter was glad to grab it. Somebody once said, and it's hard to disagree, at least for me, that nearly every one of Porter's love songs was to some extent erotic. Now, there are some that aren't. Don't Fence Me In, about cowboys and horses and whatever, so un-Porter-like that he used to refer to it as that old thing. He took the royalties, and there were very high royalties. However, he never quite, he knew it wasn't what he was there to do. And the other is Too Young, which was the love song in, one of the love songs in, oh God, Bing Crosby and Grace Kelly. Help me out. I drew a blank. High Society, thank you. It's as innocent a love song as we have, written by our most sophisticated songwriter. The problem is, the irony in it is, that this utterly passionless little song was written for a husband and wife to sing on their honeymoon. And I have never figured out why Porter wrote it as a honeymoon song. It makes no sense that way, although it, again, made him a lot of money. The first of these next two songs feels both languid and insistent at the same time. Its throbbing, repeated notes give the song what it needed. The second song is Porter's most erotic ballad. It's very witty and also very much a love song.
Like the beat, beat, beat of the tom-tom when the jungle shadows fall, like the tick, tick, tock of baby clock stands against the wall, like the drip, drip, drip of the raindrops when the summer shower is through. The voice within me keeps repeating, you, you, you. Night and day, you are only you beneath the moon and under the sun, whether near to me or far. No matter, darling, where you are, I think of you. Night and day, day and night, why that this longing for you follows wherever I go. In the roaring traffic, the silence of my lonely room, I think of you. Night and day, night and day, under the hide of peace, there's oh such a hungry yearning burning inside of me, and this torment won't be through. You let me spend my life making love to you day and night, night and day. Baba, Baba, night and day under the hide of me. There's oh such a hungry yearning burning inside me, and this torment won't be through till you let me spend my life making love to you day and night, night and day, night and day. Love me. After watching her appeal from every angle, there's a big romantic deal I've got to wangle. For I've fallen for a certain lovely lass, and it's not a passing fancy, but a fancy past. I love the look of you, the lure of you. I'd love to make a tour of you, the eyes, the arms, the mouth of you, the east, west, north, and the south of you. I'd love to gain complete control of you and handle even the heart and soul of you, but love at least a small percent of me, or I love all of you.
Take a word like thing. It's as common a noun as we have. It can be used to mean almost anything. More than almost any of his contemporaries, Porter used the word thing or a variant, anything, something, in his lyrics. No big deal, you say. Just a coincidence. But for Porter, the meaning of thing in his lyrics was almost always naughty. First, a song about how you make me feel. It's also about what you do. It's about love and sex. The second is about the mix of romance and desire set in a very bawdy way. The character in the song says there's nothing distinctive about her, but she's got something that's irresistible. Listen with your dirty ears.
I was mighty blue, but my life was through, till the heavens opened and I gazed at you. Won't you tell me, dear, why when you were here, something happens to me, and the strongest feelings go through me. You do something to me, something that simply mystifies me. Tell me, why should it be? You have the power to hypnotize me. Let me live in your spell. You do that good that you do so well. For you do something to me that nobody else can do.
Since first you blew in like a boisterous breeze, I often have wondered, dear, why gentlemen all seem to fall on their knees the moment that you appear. Your fetching physique is hardly unique. You're mentally not that hot. You'll never win laurels because of your morals. But I'll tell you what you've got. You've got that thing. You've got that thing that makes birds forget to sing. Yes, you've got that thing, that certain thing. You've got that charm, that special charm that makes young farmers desert the farm. Yes, you've got that thing, that certain thing. You've got what Adam craved when he, for love of Eve, was tortured. She only had an apple tree, but you've got an orchard. You've got those ways, those subtle ways that make me rush off to Cartier's for a wedding ring. You've got that thing. Yes, you got that thing, that certain thing. Yes, you've got that thing, that certain thing. Just what made Samson be for years Delilah's Lord and Keeper. She only had a pair of shears, but you got a reaper. You got those ways, those taking ways, that make me rush off to Cartier's for a wedding ring. You got that thing.
And if you think those songs are about hugs and kisses, you're too young to be here. They are witty. They are songs of praise for the beloved, though not in the conventional romantic way that you might expect. They're witty, they're felt, and they're naughty all at once. What more do you want for the price of a recording, for crying out loud? What do you charge? What do you pay now to download a one song? What's it cost on Apple or whoever? You know? iTunes. Yeah, what's it cost? Okay, for $1.50 then, you can get all this good dirty stuff. I mean, what more do you want from life? We're going to do two more songs for you, one of which is one of Porter's, I think, most exquisite ballads, one of his greatest love ballads. If someone stuck me in a corner and said you can't get out till you pick a way to demonstrate Porter's mastery of romantic ballads, I might very well pick this one. It's melancholy, unabashedly romantic, and erotic. Despite its hyperbole, there's something quite real about it, quite true about it. Then a song written for the score to Paris in 1928, but cut before opening night, forgotten for over 40 years. The great cabaret singer Bobby Short stumbled upon it, revived it probably 25 years ago, and people have been performing it since. The song that replaced it was a better song, but this is certainly the more boisterous of the two. It's become one of those irresistible Cole Porter invitations.
Every time we say goodbye, I die to live.
Every time we say goodbye, I wonder why
The gods above who must be in the know. They so little love me.
they allow you to go. When you're near, there's such an air of spring about it.
I can hear a lark begin to sing about it. There's no love song finer how strange
the change
from
major to minor. Every time we say when you're near, there's such an air of spring about it.
I can hear a lark begin to sing about. There's no love song I know, but how strange the change from major to every time we say You could have a great career, and you should. Only one thing stops you, dear, you're too good. If you want a future, darling, why don't you get a pass? 'Cause that fatal moment's coming at last.
We're all alone, no chaperone can get our number.
The world's in slumber, let's misbehave.
There's something wild about you, child, that's so contagious. Let's be outrageous, let's misbehave. When Adam were Eve's out, he wouldn't stand for teasing.
He didn't care about those apples out of season.
They say that spring just one thing to little lovers.
We're not of lovers, let's misbehave.
It's getting late, and while I wait,
My poor heart aches on. Why keep the brakes on? Let's misbehave.
I feel quite sure Uncle Damu will be attractive
While we're still active, let's misbehave.
You know my heart is true, and you will say you fully care.
Somebody's sure to tell, but what the hell do we care?
They say that bears have love affairs and even camels.
We're really mammals, let's misbehave. We're really mammals, let's misbehave.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let us do one more for you before we turn you out into the slush. Huh? No. See? Did you notice at one point, Alan, you applauded after a song, and then Alan had the next song, and he let you clap for 5 or 6 seconds, and then he went into the intro, and you all stopped clapping. Perfect example of what I was talking to. I can't say. It's really weird not being able to see them. The lines near the end of Let's Misbehave about we're all mammals and all that stuff, the last chorus, I guess, gave Porter the inspiration for the song that replaced it. In 1937, Porter had a terrible riding accident. The horse fell and landed on his leg and crushed it. And he was in excruciating pain for the rest of his life, had many operations, and eventually it had to be amputated. And so he would go to parties in black tie, top hat, white silk scarf, and crutches. He refused to let it change the man he was. Yet until near the very end, he never lost the effervescence that defined so many of his songs throughout his life. So to wrap things up, here is one of those great early Porter songs, the kind you leave the theater singing. You won't know all the words, but you'll have the tune, and you'll have enough of the words to get by. It's a song about sex that's so direct and so funny, he had to add a line. He had to change the opening from "Let's do it" to "Let's do it, let's fall in love." And it's not about love. I mean, love may be there, one never knows. In the immortal words of Fats Waller, one never knows, do one. Everybody knew it had much less to do with love than with it.
Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. In Spain the best upper sets do it, Lithuanians, and let's do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. The Dutch in old Amsterdam do it, not to mention the Finns. Folks in Siam do it, think of Siamese twins, some Argentines without means do it. Apples, pops, and even beans do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Let's do it. Let's fall in love.
Pardon? Glad you liked it. Glad you liked it. Remember, next 2 weeks from today, we got Herb Smith, the man with the trumpet. Yes, he is. He certainly is. Oh, really? Fantastic. Where,
Downtown Medford.
oh, fabulous, fabulous. That'll be great.
Brass quintet.
Oh, that'll be wonderful. That'll be wonderful. Charles, good to see you, man.